Welcome back. A nation in mourning after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, one of America's leading conservative voices. The suspect will be formally charged tomorrow. He is reportedly refusing to cooperate with investigators now after his father led him to turn himself into the FBI. Kirk's movement, meanwhile, ever since has only been growing since his death. His coalition, Turning Point USA, revealing over 32,000 requests to launch new chapters nationwide. Right now, they only have 900 chapters. Americans, meanwhile, some Americans are being fired across the country for social media posts spewing out hate, celebrating the murder. At least a dozen faculty and staff from schools are facing swift termination. Clemson University has suspended an employee over social media posts which mocked the assassination of Charlie. The university said this in a statement: "We understand the frustration and we share the deep concern over the nature of these posts. However, we will continue to act within the bounds of the law and our university policies to ensure accountability and integrity." Joining me now is South Carolina Congressman Russell Fry. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for being here. So much has happened since the last time I saw you. Your reaction?
It's tons. I mean, the death of Charlie Kirk is just so tragic. People respected greatly the way that he conducted himself, the thoughtfulness of his approach to the issues, talking to the next generation on their college campuses, engaging in free speech and really engaging in open debate. I think that's what campuses are for. He conducted himself with dignity. And it's so tragic to see such an icon of the conservative movement lose their life because of the content of their speech.
I mean, do you think that we are going to see this movement get only bigger? Because you heard his beautiful widow, Erica, talk about you have now, unleashed a new determination in so many words, she said on Friday night.
You're seeing it play out in real time. I mean, 900 Turning Point chapters and 32,000 requests right now. Tremendous growth. People crave this type of engagement. They crave it. And you're seeing other members of the conservative movement say, you know what, we're going to take up the mantle too. We're going to go to college campuses. We will not be silenced. We will not stop talking about the issues that matter to us. And we're not going to stop engaging with the next generation. I think it's a tribute, an organic tribute to Charlie Kirk's legacy, what is happening on our college campuses right now.
The other thing is that, conservatives are on edge. I mean, GOP lawmakers, you and your colleagues now talking about an increase to congressional security funding. Following the assassination, you're working to finalize a government funding bill. That extension, expected to be introduced this week, would keep the government open through November 20th. But you've got 7 legislative days left until this government shutdown deadline. And Democrats are, signaling they're not going to compromise. They want an increase in health care concessions. Congressman, where does this stand? Where is the increase in money toward security for the judiciary, for the president and the cabinet and Congress as well?
Those appropriations bills on the legislative side are winding their way through, but there has been a call. We've seen an increase in threats to congressional offices. We have people who protest or threaten judges based on decisions that they make or members of the executive branch, and so there is a need, without question. The continuing resolution, obviously Democrats supported this before, a clean CR. If you go back and roll the tape on anything over the last 2 years, Democrats have been calling for a clean CR the whole time except right now. And you have to ask yourself why. The why is that they no longer have control of the White House. What was good yesterday for them is no longer sufficient for some strange reason. Whatever funding requests they have should be treated separately and evaluated on their own merits. But for us, the president and everybody else, keeping the government open while we finish the legislative process on these appropriations bills is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, and do you think you're going to get this all done before the deadline and actually avoid a government shutdown?
We'll see. I think that there's certainly optimism. There's certainly members on the other side who privately say that we're doing our appropriations work probably for the first time since I've been a member of Congress. We're winding these bills through and sending them to the Senate. Regular order seems to be coming back. This temporary stopgap would at least allow us to finish that work. So we'll see what happens. But Democrats were fine with this just a couple years ago. It would seem to reason that they would be fine with it now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the president is preparing to send the National Guard into Memphis, Tennessee, getting some support from the state and local officials there after doing the crackdown in Washington, Boston, and Chicago. Now, the Memphis mayor, Paul Young, claims that, yeah, he needs help, but he's not happy about the National Guard deployment in the city. Congressman, your reaction?
Well, I think it works. I mean, this model, what we're seeing in Washington, I talked to some of our South Carolina National Guardsmen a couple weeks ago, and they said at first they were met with skepticism. Why are they here? But right now, people walk up to them and say, thank you for being in our city. We notice, we feel the change in the air. People notice that. We notice that when we're in Washington. And so the model works, which is that if you have enough of a force and they're out in the community, guess what? You stop crime. You solve more crime. You make your streets safer. So this model doesn't always have to be federal. It can be state and local too, but the message is the same, which is put people on the ground, put boots on the ground, pay your cops, make sure that you have sufficient resources. The president moving into Memphis to continue to highlight this program's success in Washington is the next chapter. But seriously, any state can do this on their own right now.
And is that what the president will do, go to the scariest places? I mean, Kash Patel said it, Memphis is the homicide capital of the country. And one by one send in the guards. I mean, do we have that kind of capacity to do that, Congressman?
Well, I think what they're doing and what I seem to be seeing is this, what's working in Washington. They've had, I think, 2,300 arrests. They've gotten hundreds of illegal guns off the streets in Washington, D.C. The model works, that if you hire enough cops, that you put them on the streets, that they do their job, you don't demonize them for doing their job, then guess what? You have incredible results for the safety of the people that live in your community. We can get this done everywhere.
Yep. We're gonna need a change, right? And how does Washington feel to you? I mean, you've seen it before and after, Congressman.
It feels much safer, and I would say the staffers that work on Capitol Hill, they feel safer. They say we've never felt like we could walk around without getting harassed, or somebody might come up to us. There's story after story, unfortunately, of both members of Congress, their staff, and people who live in Washington full time who have been assaulted, had their cars stolen. It's every single day, and so having that federal presence has really limited that. And we're seeing the proof in the pudding. The results speak for themselves. They're doing incredible work, and the president is right to go to the next place and to show that this model works. Have enough of a police force, keep our communities safe, keep our streets safe. We can do this if we focus on the right things.
All right, we will leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Maria.
Congressman Russell Fry.
Thank you.